Okay, everyone, welcome to Altadena Talks podcast with your co-hosts Brian Bacchus and Professor Slipman.
I don't think anybody gets that.
No, they don't.
Only if they
Anyway,
go back
there's our
6
names
years.
right there: Brian Bacchus and Jamal Smith. You guys are welcome to come on or request to be on the podcast at any time if you feel you have something relevant to add to what we're trying to do for Altadena, which is provide areas where resources are available so that you can continue to uh, live and figure out things as they go along. And also for the more senior people that aren't on the internet or stuff like that, this is a way for you to pass along to them information that you find out so that it can benefit them as well. They might not be living up in the same areas as we all aren't, but if you are in contact with them, please reach out to them as well.
What he said. Absolutely. Yeah, it's crazy to me that it's been what less than 2 weeks since this has happened. It truly feels it. You mentioned this in the very first podcast. You mentioned that it seemed like it had been like a couple months, right? And it's still hard for me to wrap my head around what has happened to Palisades, of course, but closer to home, which is Altadena. I was able to drive through a little bit yesterday. They opened up some of the parts, still have some areas which you can't get to, but the the arbitrary nature of these fires and which homes were hit and businesses were hit and which were not is crazy as well, because I was going down, I'd gotten to the top of Lincoln and Altadena Drive and I had to go south. I'm going down and I'm just looking. It's like, okay, a bunch of homes made it and I didn't, I thought for some reason hadn't. And then all of a sudden I see three homes that are gone, like in a row. And then there's one that's perfectly fine, intact. I mean, probably has smoke damage, right? Don't get me wrong. There's always some sort of effect, but then it looked like the whole property itself is not affected by a fire. And then right next to it, one or two more are gone. It's bizarre. And then looking down the streets like Ventura and Harriet and some of those other streets as you're going down, just whole blocks just gone, just ash. It's amazing. It really does seem like, number one, it's been a long time since this has happened, like months, and number two, the devastation is just still hard to wrap your head around when you actually see it, right? So I just had to get that off my chest. I'm sure a couple people are feeling that too, but you know.
Well, today is 2 weeks since it happened. So it feels like 2 months. I mean, I feel like I haven't been able to wrap my head around it. But I talked to my roommate earlier today, and she said that the area in which to go up there is open. So I'm going to go up there and get some footage and basically share with you where things were in the house. And I also, the one thing about me, I'm a film fiend. I film everything. I mean, you know me, Jamal, I sit in the backyard and film, film
Yeah.
the pool, film everything. So I'm just like, it's devastating to me. I can't deal with it. It's hard for me to wrap my head around it sometimes.
Heck
And
yeah.
uh, I'm going to go up there and film and see what happens.
Nah, you're gonna get some good footage. It's gonna be helpful for folks that don't get a chance to get up there. I'm sure to kind of just see the devastation. In particular, if you go to areas where they may have homes, either not sure what may have happened, or don't know what it looks like, and they can't get up there. So, I mean, it'll be beneficial all the way around as we all heal and move on from this.
Well, I'm going to film not only, you know, the house I lived in, but the street. Like, I need you to know what it looks like for me to come up this street for the first time after all of this,
Hmm.
to practically see what is going on, because it's just not. It's going to be again surreal to me. I mean, you've seen all the videos, but and I've seen them too, and I know majority of the things that it's doing, but I'm I'm not really going to be prepared for this. I'm going to be looking. I know exactly where my drones were. I know exactly where my clothes were. I know exactly where things were. And to really walk up there for the first time and just see the devastation, it's going to be overwhelming. It really is. So I'm uh, I'm optimistic, but this is has I have to get some sort of closure because I haven't seen it. I've seen David Robledo's videos. I've seen Michael Bird's videos. Uh, my roommate's son took some videos, but you know, kids got ADD. They just that's gone. I'm like, oh, it's like damn, man. Okay, but anyway, it was still good footage. But I just my boy that took me to the Laker game the other night, Chris Gaines, his house was in escrow. He had just put $30,000 into getting everything remodeled. He lost all his tools for work. They were trying to let him go at the LA Water and Power over that because he didn't have his tools. I mean, you don't have a heart. I mean, I'm almost ready to like start creating chaos for these companies that have no sympathy. I mean, who's your boss? Let's talk to him. If we can't talk to him, let's put him on blast. I'm sick of this. I'm
Yeah.
sick of people having to lose their job or something over something that you can prove. It's right there on the news. It's in your,
Yeah, that's cold. I can't even believe somebody would do that. You're a
you
victim of
know,
a
I'm
fire
I'm
that you
not
had
a
no
violent
control
person,
over.
but I'm the kind of person. Right, it's crazy. Man, oh man, I'm talking Billy Jack style, baby. And bust a couple of knees up. Now you can't walk. Now you
Right,
can't do your job. So now you know how it feels. You know what I'm saying?
right.
But we're not a violent group.
If there was a way, we can get away with it and get the point across. You know, I get
Hey, there's also always Pojo and Nut Nut.
it. Hey, if we needed to, right?
But our whole thing is fight it with the tools that is out there. Social media can kill you without lifting a finger.
Yeah,
So
just letting folks know about it is
right,
sometimes just powerful enough because other folks will get to running with it too. You know,
exactly. Now,
but
one of the things I like to sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off.
no,
One
go
of the
right ahead,
things
please. Nah,
I
you were
really
going
would
where.
like to extend the invitation for anyone that wants to come on here, vent, provide resources. Today, we're going to focus on Eric Williams, known as Edub. His He has a new group, rebuilding in Altadena, and it's chock full of information. I'm going to go to like a lot of the media posts so that we can just focus on what is actually being shown here, so that you can see for yourself. So I'm going to share the screen and pull up some of the information that's in his group so far.
Yeah, and we had met on a separate kind of group setting um, on Sunday, and he had made mention on that call. He had talked about his groups. He actually has two that he mentions. Well, two that he specifically mentioned there. One for folks who want to rebuild in the area, and then another one for folks who were going to sell. And the concept between obviously both of them is those who want to rebuild try to pull all the resources or at least have links to other locations that have all the resources that are necessary for you to rebuild in terms of where you go to get the permits and get the architect and all those deals. And then for those that we're going to sell, I believe, and maybe Dub can correct me on this, but he was having this as a location for people who did want to buy to kind of be notified, so to speak, or at least you can see or get in contact with some folks who want to buy in the area. So the people who do want to sell can access those folks as maybe the first folks they want to offer it to. So I thought that was a cool concept.
Yeah, I spoke with him at length this morning on the phone, and we were basically going over a lot of information that I really wish he could come on, but he's waiting. I invited him on, but he's waiting for FEMA to come by, and they're supposed to come by from between 9 and 11. So he'll probably end up coming on tomorrow to discuss it.
Mm-hmm.
But we're really looking at, like, okay, Altadena is supposed to be about Altadena, right? Let's do stuff with Altadena in mind. So that means any nonprofits that are in Altadena, Pasadena should be first and foremost on the front lines. And those are the ones that we need to focus on. But those ones are doing their part, and they don't really know about this platform. But, there's a few things I'm going to pull up for you right now because I find it hard to believe sometimes. But I will show this to you, and you can decide for yourself. Give me 1 second here. All right, let me go ahead and add this on here. Okay, so this is part of the group Rebuilding in Altadena. EW is one of the admins on it. And these are the pop-ups that come on there on a regular basis. So right now, what I got up here is Little Red Hen and the Travel Center are giving a gas giveaway on Friday, January 24th between 12 and 2. I don't know how soon you got to get there to line up. I don't know if you mention something. There's really no extra information that I see here other than that particular notice. So we'll have to see what comes about with that. But that's one of them. And then the next one, actually that's up there twice. This shows where you can go to contact. You can go to Little Red Hen Coffee Shop on Instagram to find out more information. Candace Kim says the air purifier manufacturer Voight will be giving out free purifiers today, actually, at Vintage Church. So Vintage Church is 464 East Walnut. Their phone number is 626-699-9820. I'm reading off some of this because some people watching probably can't see the screen that clear if you're watching on your phone. So if it sounds like I'm being redundant, I am. So, just in case. And supporting all the LA residents. So I don't know if that means LA County or what. So I don't know. But it's only 1,000 of them. So first come, first serve, baby. You might want to line up right now for this podcast. Some people, let me see this one. I gotta look at it first.
Why don't you can you copy his link to the group in the chat?
I sure can. Let me go ahead and grab that real quick. And while I'm doing that, why don't you fill them in on some of this other stuff?
All right, shoot. I'm one of them that can't see. I gotta zoom in my screen because it's small.
I know. That's why I'm trying to read stuff off. So that, let's see. Rebuild.
But I was trying to, put the link in there so I can run to it as
I'm
well.
about to, but I'm gonna have to talk to EW about actually creating a real name for the thing instead of this thing right here. So I'm gonna post this up, because it's gonna be difficult. So I'm going to create this post right quick so that you'll be able to see it. It's kind of long, and I'm going to leave it up there for quite some time because it's all numbers. So you would go to facebook.com/groups, and that's a number, but he needs to change that to the name so that it makes it easier for people to get to it. And it looks like Jamal got himself kicked out.
I'm back now. Gotta love
I was
technology.
wondering who was coming in because I wasn't even looking at that. I was on the other page.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can see the difficulty in seeing some of this stuff. So bear with us, folks. We're gonna possibly get to the point where we don't have to worry about it being so small. So I'm actually gonna skip this one.
Paste it in the chat as well, though, too, so the folks can click on it.
So this one that came up with, there's a nonprofit foundation that's outside of the city, and it's a Soul Food Sunday brunch. They're supposed to be doing this every Sunday for like the next 8 Sundays. So it's gonna be 2 months. I don't know if you gotta pay for it or anything. It doesn't really have any information about it. There is a donation QR code at the bottom, and my main concern is, you're taking donations, but where are the donations going? That's one of my main concerns about all of these pop-up people who come and, they come to our town, they see that there's a situation, they take advantage of it, and they start doing certain things. So I was trying to find out if there was more information on it. That's why I was looking at the notes on the side. But I really want EW to come on and just really do more of a deep dive with this instead of me really going through it, because he's the one that actually approves all these things that go into his group. So I would rather he be the one commenting on it so that you guys, is that better right there?
Yep.
Yeah, so I'm just going to stay on this page. So there's another one, free disaster relief clinics, attorney and law student volunteers register here. They have a link right there that I will probably put in the body of the podcast once it's done, because it's too long to put there and it's on an image, so I'd have to manually type it out. So there's one, well, all of these are passed. So I can't even mention this. It's January 16, January 20, and January 20. Hopefully I'll reach out to these people and find out when they're going to do something like this again, because not everyone has social media, and it does take time for us to disseminate information to the people that don't have social media. So we'll come back to that one, and I'll give you an update soon.
Speaking of that, what do you think, for those that don't have social media, what do you think the best way to get this information to them would be? You want to set up an email list of some sort?
So I actually just registered AltadenaTalks.com, and I'm going to put an email together today that's like info@AltadenaTalks.com, so that they can actually send emails there, and I will have it set up to have a generated response that responds back, that allows them to get the necessary daily information that comes out. I'm really doing a lot of work on this, trying to make sure that I have everything in order so that when you do reach out, the information is up to date. Now, I'm going through EW's group, but you got to remember, it's been in existence before I started doing these podcasts. So some of the information is going to be old, but you can still contact the places where they added it and ask if they are going to do this, repeat the same event or something else. So
I think that's a great idea.
Yeah, that's basically where we're at with it. So
also moving forward with that email address, or the allowing them to chat, it would be cool to have folks put in the information they may want to, some specific data that they might want to know about, so that when we have subsequent meetings, we can maybe pull that up as well.
So Pepper Triplet wrote, "Hello, gentlemen. Anything I post, I personally fact check. So if you see my name on it, you can bet on it." I appreciate that, Pepper, definitely, because we fact checkers too. Trust me. I look up everything. That's why I was concerned about the what do you call it? It's not necessarily the event itself, but why aren't nonprofits in town stepping up? Why do we have to have our nonprofit come all the way from New York or Oakland to help us here when there are plenty of us have nonprofits that we could easily get involved. I would like to have any nonprofits that come from out of town to reach out to the nonprofits that are in town, you know, because we're the ones that people know,
Sure.
not somebody on the outside. And somebody comes up and is like, hey, I got some people coming to me about all kinds of stuff right now. I'm not interested because I'm not about to deal with outside people kind of trying to come in and make a buck off of us.
Right.
Like, so that irritates me. So yes, Pepper, we agree with you, and I would love for you to come on the show and talk about, all the things that you're going through and ways you're helping, because people need to know that. So that's definitely a plus.
Yeah, we want to hear from everybody who's on the front lines, doing any and everything that they're doing to help Altadena, and the folks here.
So this next one is an event that's going to be held at First Methodist Church on 500 East Colorado on January 23rd at 6 o'clock for Altadena residents. I don't know if it's Altadena residents only, but basically it's going to be like a town hall that will. Is this the one that you're doing, Jamal? The Altadena?
I'm not doing it, but I got word of this. Someone shared it with me on Sunday, and I shared this with you yesterday.
Okay. So yeah, I'm going to make sure I'm at this one. I want to capture some of the stuff that they're saying on film so that we can bring it back to the people who aren't able to attend, and find out what everybody's talking about, what we're doing, what they're doing, how we can be involved in things of that nature. So this one's actually Thursday, I guess. Thursday.
Yep, it's going to be live streamed as well. So if for some reason you're not able to make it, you will be able to actually see it on YouTube. Similar to what we're doing.
Yeah, and I might even be able to stream it through the platform, but not at 6 o'clock. I usually go in at 10. So
right.
Just trying to, they did have a Eaton Fire telephone town hall, or are they? No, they did already. Friday, January 17th. The problem is this information is just now getting to certain people. Like, I just joined the group a couple days ago, so I didn't even know about any of this. So this is actually good stuff. So whoever put this up, I don't know who Fifi Greatness is, but that's who put it up. I wish people would just reuse their real names. Are we still running from the law?
Well, there's a lot of people got the same names too, so they.
There's people that I know, and I still don't know their name because they've been this for so long. It's like, I don't know.
I understand. Certain platforms, I guess folks just like the aliases. It's fun.
So Fifi, we got you on there, but Fifi means something else. And we really need to change your name there, sister.
It might be. It's probably short for something.
I hope so, because
abbreviation for a real name.
If you grew up in Pasadena and you knew a lot of people that went to prison, you know what that stands for. Just saying, it doesn't make sense. Now, Perry's Joint is really jumping into the fray and doing their part. They've been giving away free sandwiches. They had a jazz thing last Friday, I think it was.
I think it was Friday, yeah.
Yeah, that was with Jazz One with Kijana and his father, Roscoe. And it was a lot of different jazz artists came up. It was like one of those, come on, man, bring your flute, take that trumpet out and dust it off. Let's go, buddy.
Put your drums in the car, in the back seat.
Yeah, stop playing. Put them on top of the car and just drive down the street with somebody driving you a drum. But it was cool. I went. I stayed there for about 20 minutes, 30 minutes. The problem was there still wasn't hardly any parking.
Yeah.
I didn't promote it because had I promoted it, it would have been like 400 people there, and that place ain't meant to hold that many people.
Right. Even when they used to do it back in the day, because they've done this before. They used to do it on a regular basis. It cannot hold a whole lot of people.
No.
But I applaud Perry for doing what he's doing, as well as Roscoe and Kijana.
Yeah, Kijana's on the front lines. He's doing his part, even though he's millions of miles away, but he grew up here. No,
Hey,
real. He
home is
grew up
home, bro.
here, and that's another thing that we. I think it was L.A. Times put a post out the other day saying that some people didn't get the alerts and some people did. Now I'm just going to tell you guys, if you do not have WEA, which stands for Wireless Emergency Alerts, turned on your phone, and you feel that you don't need to get Amber Alerts, I don't know what to say. But you should really turn these things on so that you will know in the future. And this is not just talking about Altadena. This is talking about any of it. I know how
Yep.
we all like to be real super private, but guess what? When you need to raise funds or do something, or you have nobody, you're private. Nobody knows you. They never see your stuff. There's a time to be private and there's a time to be public. I'm always public because the majority of the stuff I do is public. But each person has their own preference. But just to know that if you didn't get certain alerts and you never get them, it's because you don't have certain things turned on your phone, which can be mostly found under the accessibility section of your phone.
Yep.
Where your location is, this, that, and the other. So if you're out there cheating on your wife or something, I can understand why you ain't turning this on. But this
Stupid.
is, I gotta throw it out there, man. So I gotta
Yeah,
throw it
yeah,
out
yeah.
there.
I mean, hey,
Some people have this
it's
stuff turned up.
reality.
The people I hate is the ones that always keep their phone on silent. Then when you need to really get in touch with somebody, oh, I didn't know you called. Well, that's why you died.
Yeah.
Because your phone didn't ring.
Well, let's hope we can save some folks from being unalived, as they say.
Yeah, exactly.
Let me jump before you go from Perry. This particular one was for last Saturday, but I'm pretty confident he's going to continue to have events. It's sometime in the future because he's closely connected with the community and regularly does things like this. So be on the lookout for other things from Perry. I'm pretty sure he'll do other things too. If not him personally, then other folks at his venues.
I like how his logo joint has like the saxophone for the J and the trumpet for the I and the drummer is the N.
Hmm.
I never
Yeah,
really
he's
noticed
always
that.
into music. Both of his shops, they got, like album covers, like old school jazz, Blue Note, all kind of different album covers out there. And he does play music that even if he doesn't have a band, live band, he plays some pretty nice music up there. Because he has one in Sierra Madre and in Pasadena, right up from Muir.
Yeah, he's actually opening up another spot somewhere in Pasadena, so we'll have
Oh,
to be
good.
on the lookout for that too. Berries
Yeah,
is
and his food
growing.
is really good. His sandwiches are hefty and very tasty.
Well, my boy Chris Patton is one of his smokers,
Oh yeah,
that smokes meat for him and stuff like that. So a special shout out to Chris Patton,
big up,
doing a good
Chris.
job over there, brother.
Hmm.
Now mind you, I get his food all the time. I don't play.
Oh, I know.
His stuff is good.
I've had it before myself, and it's delicious.
Yeah, so going back, Renee Brown says because a lot of people are nonprofit in name only and only want grant money for income. Start calling people out. Oh, that's what I do. I am to call a nonprofit out or anybody if you ain't doing what you're supposed to be doing.
Yeah.
That's why they call me very transparent and blunt. You do not want to be my friend because I'm gonna tell you about yourself if you're doing something jacked up. I mean. And you know what? Mark
He
got
tells me all
me
the
the
time.
other day. No, remember when Mark was on the other day? I said, because I'm always joking, like, oh, y'all didn't tell me about y'all was gonna meet at the lounge.
Right. Right.
Sometimes it takes a brother that knows a brother to check a brother,
For sure.
or a sister,
Or
whatever.
a sister. Exactly.
So Elaine Scott says, how awesome. And we're just trying to, promote Perry's joint to get his stuff going. And yeah, Renee, I'm real about it. I'm real about it. I can't. When my stuff burnt up, where was I? Out there showing other people where they can go to get food and clothes.
Yep.
I wasn't out there going, I grew up here in Pasadena. I ran track in the Rose Bowl. There's no I. Just go out there and do stuff. You don't need the sensationalism. I could care less.
Give the people what they need.
Gene Scoggins, one of our top communicators on here. Oh, see, Gene, that's what I'm talking about. See, Gene even called me out on the comments last time. He said, when I was talking about when I was talking about the LA Fires Google Sheets, and I didn't read the thing, and she said, "Oh, they're not taking any more donations." And I looked, I said, "You know what? You're absolutely right." See, I love when people check and balance me too, because I'm giving the information out. And Gene and Renee, please come on in here so we
Yeah,
can
show your faces.
get y'all. See, there she got. She said Santa Anita. She knew exactly which one I was talking about. But my whole thing is, we all need to come together in this time of need and just make sure that things are right. I mean, people like Pepper and Renee and Jean and even Elaine. Now, Elaine sends me stuff all the time, girl. That girl be bombarding me with all the goods because she's a real estate agent, so she gets all the. She was the one that told me that there was a glitch before they made it on the news that it was a glitch, and the FEMA thing when you try to fill it out and it said if you had insurance you can't get it. Yeah. She was the one that told me about that first.
Right on.
So she been giving me the skinny. I used to dance on Soul Train with her back in the day. So Elaine, I just threw it out there. You used to dance on Soul Train. Ha ha, you can't hide.
Now everybody knows.
Everybody knows.
But do they have the video of them on the scramble board?
Elaine looked like Julia Roberts back then. So she was getting all the action. She's also an ambassador for the Altadena Chamber of Commerce now. So Elaine, I'm going to need to ask you a favor. There's a lot of town halls popping up here and there. If you could get me a schedule of all these things so I can bring it to the people, because we need to show up in droves to these places. We don't know about them. They be holding them in some secret lab in Gotham City somewhere with, limited access. Like they don't want you to know, you know?
And some folks are not looking like us that are running these meetings and, people who were there. They're not trying to promote the diversity that Altadena has.
Now, Gene just popped up. Please let people know that fraudulent FEMA claims are being made, probably obtain Social Security numbers through the massive data breach. They should call FEMA to make sure their Social Security number is not being used for a fraudulent claim. And I see that a lot. I see a lot of people going on to, going up to people's addresses just because you knew that person lived right there. So you're trying to figure out their address and filing some sort of claim, which I don't think is right, because that's not fair to the people who actually are needing to file the claim that don't know, that haven't done it yet, because they may be senior citizens or something like that. So, Gene, that's good information right there. Appreciate you for letting us know that, because everybody needs to know. So let's go back to the group. Some of this stuff might be outdated because we are just going through the group, so we can show you what people are posting. And, this is another form of information that you can get in a group. So this one happened on the 16th at the Altadena Seventh-day Adventist Church. They'll probably do something else again, but these are just things that you can get information from. Now, the FEMA Disaster Recovery Center, I was talking about this yesterday. It's open every day, and it's right at 3035 East Foothill Boulevard. That's at the Pasadena City College Community Education Center, I guess where Foothill used to be located. Yeah, I believe. And for those of you that know, now it's called Rose City, but before it was Foothill. You did bad in school, you went to Foothill. And when you went in the bathroom to go use the bathroom, they made you smoke cigarettes, and you asked them why, and they said, because if we get busted, you can't snitch.
Sharing the wealth.
That's exactly what they told me. Yeah, it was crazy. Elaine says, I'm going to chat with FEMA about the issue for title fraud. Since she's a real estate agent, she's actually on the front line. So
Yeah.
I'll probably have her come on here so she can spit her stuff once she gets some things together. But
That Elaine, that's good that you're talking about that with FEMA. The title fraud, just in general, is a big thing that has been on the news a lot nowadays as well. About, in particular, how easy it is to have that. So that'll be outstanding to have you on there to talk about it.
no, not really at Muir so much as Foothill. Elaine says, haha, wasn't it like that at Muir too? Cigs in the bathroom. Now, actually, Courtney, I wish Courtney could come on. Courtney Patton.
Maybe for the
because she's one of the people that monitors the hallways at Muir, and they always trying to do something in that bathroom. So you might be right, Elaine. Yeah,
like back in the day,
we weren't smoking back then. First of all,
nowadays, baby,
nobody was fat. We all walked to school, pretty much healthy. Everybody was into sports. Women didn't wear makeup. They're just naturally beautiful.
Absolutely.
But then here comes social media, and everybody's supposed to want to look like Kim Kardashian, Nicki Minaj, or Glorilla. And I'm not understanding that look, but I hate going in a room and I look at 18 people with the thickest eyebrows I've ever seen. I'm like, y'all got the same mama? Because y'all look the same. I go.
Yeah. It's not a lot of uniqueness out there.
Yeah. I found myself talking about that one day, and two girls were sitting behind me looked just like that, and I was like, I'm just telling my truth. I'm sorry, ladies, but y'all need to find your own identities. Everyone doesn't need to have Fenty makeup. Sometimes, just no makeup makes you look more beautiful than you thought.
That's why I always tell my girls that they're beautiful just as they are. They want to wear it, as they get older, that's their prerogative, but let them know you absolutely don't need that.
Elaine said, I went to Losinger. We hated playing mirror and CIS till we got more Samoans. Samoans do the Humpty Hump. Do the Humpty Hump.
Wow. You weren't having much luck prior to that, I would imagine.
We didn't need Samoans do the Humpty Hump.
That's funny.
All right. Now, this is probably over, but I hope everybody was able to take advantage of getting the $250 gift cards for folks who lived in the red zones. Now, the problem with me, I can't take advantage of any of this stuff because I've had a mailing address in Beverly Hills for the last 20 years. And the reason why I've had that is because of situations like this. Now I can't get my mail. So I don't have mail come to any place I've ever lived in because things happen. I move, I do this. I don't feel like doing any forwardings. Plus, with Beverly Hills, they allow you to use their addresses as actual residential addresses. So my driver's license, my registration to my car insurance, everything goes there. That's where I am. You think I live there. So a benefit to that is when I get pulled over by the police, they look at that and they let me go. They don't know. They don't know if I'm a lawyer, a doctor, some big time producer. It's called image is everything. But that's kind of a curse because now I can't go and take advantage of any of this stuff. So I'm not taking advantage of it. That's why I bring it to you so that you can take advantage of it. Yeah, I agree, Tiffany. Natural beauty is beautiful. Just leave it alone. You used to holler at a girl, and when I was in high school, if she had on makeup, you was like, "Oh, you fast." You
You had to think about it before you move forward. Like,
okay. Here's the thing: high school students are supposed to look like high school students. They ain't supposed to look like grown women, and that was the problem with the ones that did wear makeup. They had them grown men waiting outside. We couldn't compete. You've been out of school for 14 years. we catching a bus still. You know what I'm saying? It ain't fair. I tell you, it ain't fair. So Elaine says Terrence Cotton and I are here for our community, and yes, they both are. They are your team realtors.
Right
You
on.
are. If you could put your website up, Elaine, that would be
Yeah, that'd
great
be
so I
awesome.
can pop it up because I don't know how to spell that. I'm going to spell it wrong and somebody else is going to get the credit and I'm going to be looking stupid. I thought you don't know my stuff. No, I do know your stuff. I just want to make sure that it's spelled right so that people can go to you. So if you can pop that up, that'd be great. And we are trying to really stay on a 15 minute to 30 minute thing. But sometimes when I'm on here with somebody else, we get to bantering off each other, and then other people pop up, and it starts to create it. So
Right.
sometimes that 15 minutes might be out the window. Elaine's website is yourteaminc.com. That's spelled yourteaminc.com. And
Outstanding.
she also has another one, elaine.scotton.com. So between those two, that's where you need to go to find out stuff. Now, if anybody else has any other realtor or business or law firm or something that's in the city that they're willing to come in and get down in the trenches like we're doing, please send me your information. I would love to share. In fact, I would love to bring you on the show because we don't have a big giant following, but we have, uh, you know, people watching because they want to be
Absolutely.
informed, and we're boots on the ground. We're in the trenches. We're going. Like after I leave here, I'm going to Pasadena because I do that every day. I'm spending a ton of money on gas because I'm staying with a friend up in Santa Clarita, but
Yeah.
I'm doing it for the people. Power to the people. You know what I'm
Yeah, doing it
saying?
for home. Another
Yeah.
benefit, another benefit of coming on with us, even even though Brian was saying we don't have a huge following, is these are recorded, so it is something you can reference again later. You can share with other folks, especially if you know somebody that might be a benefit or might have some information that may be a benefit to the folks who are watching that may that are affected by these fires and what have you. And I'm talking just like Brian said, lawyers, real estate folks, contractors, architects, people at the county or whatever levels of government that need to be involved with the planning and the approvals and the permits and all that kind of thing. It'll be helpful to get that information, to get timelines and what have you. I'm personally working on because I know there's a few homes in Pasadena that were affected, and I know this is primarily talking about Altadena because that's where the brunt of the devastation happened. But given that there were some homes in Pasadena, there's a distinction, right? Because Pasadena is its own kind of little world. Altadena is part of LA County and has some different ways of doing things, for example, right? So if trying to figure out a distinction between the two, most people will be dealing with Altadena, but it's good to know these things. So the more information we can get out, the better. So feel free to come on yourself or invite other folks to participate. And we welcome you guys for sure.
Also, my roommate who owns the house just told me that she's gotten together and put a thread together with, because a lot of neighbors on the streets that you live on in Altadena know each other. So they have their phone numbers and stuff like that. I would encourage you to get a list of the phone numbers of the people that you lived on the street with, next door with. I saw these people every day, said hi, pulled their trash cans in when they're on vacation, stuff like this, because the neighborhood was close knit. So if you know of different streets, because remember, the only way we're going to find out if someone's losing their home or wants to sell it or aren't coming back, and we get an opportunity to probably purchase that home, not for us in particular, but the land to keep it out to Dina like it was and not have weird things happen. People come in here and turn certain areas to apartments and stuff like that. Um, I would
We know
encourage
some of that's
you.
happening or will happen.
Yeah, I know. That's
Yeah.
why I'm mentioning it because there was only certain areas that were zoned for apartments. Then you had pockets. So you had Pine behind Rite Aid. Then there was the apartments next to Rite Aid. Then there was the ones down there off of Altadena Drive in Lincoln. There were pockets. We don't want to turn Altadena into apartments
Correct.
because Altadena is mostly homes And people that grew up here grew up in these homes, and they want to be able to come back and rebuild. We're not possibly going to be able to rebuild for a couple of years. So make sure whatever money you do get from your insurance companies or whatever, you put that aside, put it in the bank, because you know there's going to be a lot of price gouging. I guarantee it. 4,000 homes that were burned or damaged are going to need lots of wood. They're going to need lots of wood. Prices are going to go up. Cement prices are going to go up because the supply for it is not going to be enough for the demand. So basically, we just got to come together and find out if we can hook up. Like my boy Chris lays cement, so he'll probably be on the front lines to give discounts, because he'll be doing a lot of bulk stuff. So he'll be looking forward to working with everybody. His own house burned down at 91. Well, I'm not even going to say it because somebody might come on here watching and try to lay a claim. And they got to be careful when you say certain things. And it's so funny. Elaine said most are underinsured. Fire. I heard a lot of fire coverages were canceled 2 months ago. So
it's like they knew something. I mean, I hate to be a conspiracy person, but it's like when stuff like that happens, like you can't help but wonder. It's like, what did they know beforehand, or did they know something? Because is it really a coincidence that like you say, in a month, 2 months, 3 months before they drop it, and all of a sudden this craziness happens?
But you got actuarial firms that mitigate risk, and they look at these things on a regular, day by day, week by week, month by month, and they figure out what's the risk of, you see this disaster happen over here. Let's look forward and see what could happen. And this happened in a major way. And not only did it happen in a major way, but it happened to the most affluent areas of California: Malibu, Palisades, Altadena, Hollywood Hills. I mean, these are affluent spots where it's going to cost. I mean, I think they probably lost $57 billion in Malibu of profit.
Damn.
I'm not even quite sure what we lost here. It's hard to say because we still haven't gotten the real number of homes that were damaged. But if you look at it on average, and I'm just going to do a small little calculation here. If we just average each home to be $2 million, and we multiply that by the homes that were damaged, that's like $8 billion of damage in Altadena. That's a lot. I mean, but there's 350 nonprofit organizations here in Pasadena, and they all have over 500 million. And majority of them are foundations that are obligated to give out 5% of that. So that's where Elaine was saying that's where creative financing, grants, etc., will need to be done. We have numbers of people that have money. Art Von D, who is the owner of Bond, he has $1 billion fund in his nonprofit. Hell, that's 1/8 of what we need.
Yeah.
Now, not that everybody is missing on their insurance, but the underinsured. We need a nonprofit person or a philanthropist to step up and say, hey, I want to help out and keep Altadena the way it was. And that would be great. Renee says, Leimert Park is almost unrecognizable with gentrification. It's shocking, and we cannot let this happen to another predominantly Black community. You're absolutely right, Renee. And I lived in Inglewood 6 years prior to moving back to Altadena, and I saw it happening. The SoFi Stadium, the what do you call it? The Intuit Dome, the Forum, Market Street is starting to come back, but it's like, people. But I saw the gentrification happening over there off of Slauson. I think back in 2014, people not of color were moving into all of these spots. And they was living right down the street from the gangbangers. And of course, they don't care because they know that they got the law on their side. If they call the police, they coming out there looking split. So these are things, and you can't blame people for wanting to buy where they can afford.
Yeah.
You're buying in the hood, but
Or
you're
leave where you
raising.
can't.
Yeah, because you can't live in Toluca Lake anymore, so you come to Slauson and Overhill, even though that's not any less expensive, but you might find a spot over there that you're going to walk into, and it actually has equity in about 2 months or 3 months because you're watching announcements of the mayor of Inglewood saying all the things that are about to come here, the people mover, the train, putting the monitors up so when you're getting off the freeway, you'll know where to go, what lanes to go. The whole thing is turning into a smart city.
Hmm.
So
That's a catchword.
yeah, and we'll talk about it another time. That's a catchword, conspiracy theory word. Maui, they're talking about that was destroyed to make it a smart city. I'm not one to be passing on conspiracy theories, but this is just what I hear
Yeah.
from people talking,
As you
out
said,
there.
that's a whole nother long discussion if you
Right.
want to go down that road.
So Elaine was saying that. Are you talking about the fire insurance?
Yeah, I think she
Because
is because she
yeah.
popped that up when we were talking about it. It was months before.
Oh, okay.
I think so. So yeah, I mean, I know it's been going on for a while, and in certain locations they do that. Yep, they were talking about it on the news today about how a lot of insurance companies got out of Florida, in particular because of hurricanes, because they're saying they can't afford it. Um,
They can't afford it.
well,
Why?
they
Because they're
they
not
supposedly
keeping
can't
their
afford to pay it
billions.
out, right? It's like
What's the point of having insurance if you don't pay it out when
exactly,
something happens?
exactly.
It's like,
But yeah,
and then our new president is probably going to be on their side. So, got to be
it's going to be
careful what's going
interesting.
to happen.
It's going to be interesting to see what happens with this. Um,
Yeah, I would like to see those numbers, Elaine, so that I can determine, you know, how much loss we've had. Yes, house equity rich yet cash poor. That's what I see a lot of. She also says as of the 19th, with 98% of the inspections completed, here are the totals and breakdown. Destroyed 9,366 total, 6,000 single family homes, 97 multifamily, 5 mixed homes, residential commercial, 153 commercial, and 3,111 other minor structures.
damn.
So that's a lot. My numbers was just 4,000. Now, is that all of California? I mean, all of LA County, or is that uh,
Just Altadena.
out of the 5 areas that have fires? She also put damage 1,062 total, 742 single family homes, 28 multifamily, and 32 commercial, and 258 other minor structures.
Oh, that's just the Eaton fire. Wow.
Oh, wow. So she said that was just the Eaton fire.
And you
So
and
we've lost 9,000 spots. My numbers were way off. I thought it was 4,000, but that was what I got 4 days ago.
that was
You
probably
know,
initial numbers or numbers at the time. And
and
this is
it's
from
probably
the
happened. Go ahead.
council. I'm just clarifying where she got the information from. I think she said
The town council,
town council. Okay.
Altadena town council. So this is why we all should be paying attention to these town halls and stuff, because these numbers aren't being mentioned, and if they are, we're not there to see them. So by all means, keep the information coming, because this is crazy. I'm gonna pop this back up here in case people didn't see it, because it was pretty quick.
Yeah.
But that's sad. I mean, it's horrible. Like, I can't even imagine that many homes damaged, and that's why you got the vultures coming out. And somebody said, he's like, yes, Victoria, now Snoop and Nelly gonna save us. Snoop and Nelly.
Oh Lord.
Eh, hilarious. But these numbers are baffling. This is a lot.
No doubt. Well, we definitely are taking steps in the right direction, I think, and we're getting. I like what we're doing here because we're getting different people that are popping on each day, and it seems like everybody's bringing a little bit of knowledge. This one has been chock full of knowledge, and I really appreciate it. The information that's been provided by the folks that have commented today. Hope you keep doing that and sharing the information, and we're going to continue to definitely do this um, every day.
Yeah, exactly. And if you want to support the show, I have my Zelle at the bottom. The link that's streaming across right after it is a GoFundMe link to help people out in the Altadena community. We've raised over $10,000 so far on that link. And that link is going to basically be going to help folks with different things that they need. And we're going to be keeping checks and balances. So we haven't spent a dime of this money yet. We haven't even let it go into our account yet because we're trying to figure out, we don't want to go into our account because we don't want to be paying taxes on no money that we're doing stuff with. But that our initial project is to rent a couple of vans and get people around, take them around. We're going to get somebody to donate to wrap them. And, if you see this van driving around your neighborhood, flag us down or hit the QR code or call the number and say, hey, you just passed me. I need a ride. That's what I'm going to be doing most of the day.
Yep.
Then we'll have some shifts. Somebody might do them at night. And we're just really, this is our community. I grew up here. I cut yards here. I got my first car cutting yards here. Thanks to all the neighbors up in Altadena that allowed me to cut their yards. My first ever yard was Courtney Patton's yard. And
wow, y'all go back that far, huh?
Yeah. And her father was like, how much you gonna charge me? I said $15, and I hadn't seen the backyard yet.
It's like, okay. Right on.
And I had a push mower.
Oh,
and I was, the ones that you put in. So first of all, I was giving me a workout. But man, that grass was up to my knees. And I was almost sad. But the whole football team helped me. Ron Baldwin and Juan King and all them. We went and borrowed sickles from the lawnmower's place and we got it cut down, and he was happy. So he gave us the job for a while.
That's dope.
So yeah, shout out to Gene Patton for giving us the opportunity to make my first little $15. I was happy.
That's dope. That is dope. So we're gonna keep it at the 60-minute mark.
Yeah, we got 3 minutes. I'm just gonna let a couple more things pop up. Altadena has had over 17,600 structures damaged. People lost cars. My roommate left her car and it burnt to a crisp. I mean, it's sad. It's sad. I mean, when you lose everything, it's sad. So Elaine, you got the hose out. How much was you charging the hose? Oh, hose for gardening. My bad.
Oops. Hold on. Get back on track. It's a family show. It's a family show.
Right? I'm stupid. So we got about 1 minute left. We'll never go over 60 minutes. Like that last show, it was kind of fun because everybody was coming on. And we were just trying to, it's like our intro show, get to know each other. But now we're about our business. We try to bring it to you in a nice, understandable setting. And if you guys, please, if you want to come on the show and talk about some stuff, please do it. Because in total we have 17,600 total structures in Altadena before fall. So we have 17,000, so like 14,000 homes and another 2,000 businesses and stuff like that. So I do get it. And now half of that is gone.
Yeah.
So we got 1 more minute. I'm gonna let you take it out, Jamal. If you got something to say.
Nothing that we hadn't said already, other than to thank you all for actually participating in this podcast today. Hopefully, you'll participate in subsequent ones and take a look at the ones that we've done in the past. And I also want to reiterate what Brian just said. Please feel free to come on, show your face. Let's hear your voice saying the things that you want to say. And we look forward to it. And just thank you. This is fun. Brian, this is good for me because Brian always tries to get me on these podcasts. We work together, and I'm always behind the scenes. So this is a great reason for me to actually be in front and or side by side with them and doing some stuff that is helpful for the community. So this is fun for me. It's cathartic in many ways, and we look forward to the next meeting.
Well, I know that when you're on here, everybody comes on. When I'm on here by myself, I feel like Tad Koppel doing the end of the 60 minutes where no one wants to watch anymore.
And unfortunately, sometimes you'll have to do that, but I'll pop on as frequently as I can, man. You know that.
I mean, Elaine, if you're not camera ready, you can point your camera to outside of your house. We just need to hear you talking.
Yeah.
Y'all can come on with your bonnets on. We'll have a bonnet session.
Yeah.
I'll wear my bonnet.
I got
a beret.
I can grab a bonnet from one of my girls.
You know what I'm saying? I have a bonnet session. Let's do it. The whole thing is, we're not trying to be funny, but a sense of humor is needed in a crisis situation such as this.
We're also not trying to not be funny, right?
Right, because I'm going to crack a joke whenever I see the opening. Oh, getting in there. Mm-hmm. All right, we're out of here. Peace.
Have a great day, everybody.
You another time. Thanks for being on.